Hey Marvel Strike Force, I wanted to come in and record this video. I've screwed up. I didn't record my stuff during the fights. There was some frustration. There was a lot of frustration in this Crucible. So we'll kind of show you everything that happened. I'm gonna replay quite a few of the fights. It was ugly on both sides. Both of us dropped probably the most amount of rooms I've seen us drop all Crucible season. This is against a one of the Russian players, and I I mean, we just didn't agree on defenses. We didn't agree on offenses. Everywhere along the way, it looks like we had a different take on how to do things. So let's get into it. We'll start with my attacks. First one I did, or first attack that really kind of threw me as I need to do something, is he had Odin in 6 with Annihilators and Super Scroll. I ended up taking a Mephisto, APOC, Weaver, Duck combo. It was more than enough to get it done. It may have been too much even. Let's take a look and watch it. Well, this is going to be very raw. I'm not going to cut out all the load screens, so it just is what it is. We're going to play it on 3x for everything so you can see what's going on, just so we can get through this. So I came in, I instantly hit the Empowered Basic on the Gladiator. I came in and punched the Gladiator, got him down to basically dead. He fell over, and then I got to go on the Odin. So then I started piling everything into the Odin so I could get him killed. I ate the Super Scroll ult, which I knew was going to happen, which was fine. Eventually, APOC gets to just punch out Odin, and he's just dead. Which probably meant I brought too much in, but it is what it is. I really wasn't sure. And we'll get into why I think that's a problem in the future matchups. But, I didn't have any problem here. At this point, it was just go through, heal everybody up, keep everybody alive, clean the matchup up. I ended up killing off Thanos and didn't even need his ult. I don't know why I didn't need his ult because I thought I should have. I thought that was interesting. And when I say ult, I mean his passive. So that got 6 done. Overall, I was starting out strong. My next hardest room that I had to deal with was 5, and I had a mess. He had Old Man Logan, and he had that Duelim room going on, and the way I've seen people beat it is with Old Man Logan, but I didn't want to use Old Man Logan. I wanted Old Man Logan for another room, which may have been a mistake. I don't have anything to show you guys for this, but it was me getting run over. The first turn that went off from any of his characters basically just killed half my team, and that was pretty much what happened every single time. I thought the Cabal used to work, but there's a big power difference here. My Cabal's still level 100, which is absolutely biting me in the butt this season because I don't want to level them. I think they're on the way out the door, and so I think the only one I have at 105 is Leader. I might change my mind in the next season, but right now that's kind of where I'm at. I feel like we have way too much offense that they're kind of on the way out the door. I even tried doing some Orcus members so that they didn't get smeared in debuffs, but I didn't read the kits very well. I tried also flipping it, but I lost the speed flip on Scientist Supreme when I brought in Scientist Supreme, so I was down to one more attack, and I tried Cabal one more time, and it just didn't work. On the next room. This was full Liberty in 4. It was a little scary because Shadow King kind of gets pummeled down, but it really was just Astral hits their first turn abilities and Liberty dies. It's a big enough punch up or punch down that was fine. We'll go ahead and show it just so you guys can see what was going on. I think it was like a 30-40 second matchup. It really wasn't much of anything. And they even pummeled down Shadow King, but it didn't matter. I think that's kind of what they do every time they go in this matchup. So as long as Ancient One gets her turn, it's fine. If this was a even punch across, I'd be a little concerned because I think there's a chance that Ancient One just dies. And if Ancient One dies, I think this is a very different matchup. It might be fine because Strange would still revive the first 2 people that died. But this wasn't a punch across, it was a punch down. Like you can see here, Ancient One's super low. But now she's taking her first turn. Shadow King didn't take a turn. Ancient One's super low, but Ancient One flips and basically murders everybody. And then I think the next turn was Moondragon and the defense down, and just everybody died. So as we get 3 Diamond Patriots and some other stuff coming up, I'll be a little more concerned taking that matchup. So may not do that in the future. Next up, we had this was Orcus with Emma in 3. I wasn't concerned about this because we didn't have the trauma. since we didn't have the trauma, like, yes, I didn't get my speed bar, but it wasn't something I was that worried about. I knew Immortal wouldn't work in 3, so I went with Night Stalkers anyways. So I went ahead and did that, got through that guy. Did take some damage, which is not good for the efficiency score, but I wasn't that worried about it. As you can see, we just kind of do the Night Stalker thing, and everybody kind of just dies from ults in the alt room, so nothing that was too scary. Overall, I definitely wouldn't recommend this room to anybody. I'm not even sure why he had it in here, but he did. It didn't really change what I would have taken in there. Actually, it probably made it easier than what I would have normally used, so that was nice. And then the next room, we had... Oh, he had Night Stalkers on defense. And I went to the MSF spreadsheet, and it said Immortal worked on it. I wasn't sure about it, but it said it did. It definitely didn't. I would never recommend that to anybody ever again. I learned my lesson on trusting that spreadsheet. So Storm never got a turn against this team. And because of that, I will never, ever, ever recommend it. I'm not even going to show that fight. It literally is just a pure mismatch. Storm zones in, never takes a turn, Blade one-shots her. So why people recommended that, I don't know. I learned my lesson. That's why I don't use the MSF spreadsheet anymore. I don't recommend you do either. If you want to see clean fights, watch people that actually do Crucible. Don't trust random videos that are at different power levels. Let's go ahead and watch what I actually used in there. So should I have dropped those 2 fights? Probably not. I should have probably figured out that I had Kahori and could easily do this, because I could. Kahori came in here. She flipped all. She puts the debuff on Oath. She flips the thing on Man Thing. I was a little concerned after taking that storm damage that I might lose like somebody early to Blade, so I brought in Doom Dorm, but Doom just got perma-killed. So probably bad placement on my part. I probably could have avoided that if I would have placed better, but I was already like tilted in this matchup. After losing 5 and making bad mistakes, it was not a good game. But Kahori came in here, got her done. Miss Marvel Classic doesn't take damage. I brought in the Black Cat just for another stun. She's a big character, so that's kind of what I did. Easily got it done. If I would have made better decisions, I easily could have not dropped this room. And lesson learned for next time. And then my last room was, I believe, Immortal in 1. No. Did I not use Immortal? Maybe I let Immortal die. I didn't even use them. Okay, in 1, this is one I completely screwed up. I didn't respect this matchup. Well, first off, I shouldn't have brought Doc Ock. That was just a bad choice in characters. It should have been my Craven. I think this matchup would have worked if I was on equal footing, but my characters are still level 100. I think the only ones I have at 105 is Vulture and Green Goblin. I think the rest of them are all still level 100. Oh, and Nightcrawler. It didn't work at all. I got them low, but then they kind of just rebalanced themselves. I felt like I just didn't have enough damage, which was fine. I wish I had the footage from that, but I don't. It works just like you do the Mephisto matchup when you go into the Odin Illuminati Mephisto that you used to do this last season. You start off and you hit the Nightcrawler stun on Shuri. You come in and Green Goblin ult to flip everything. You come in and Craven ult on top of Britain, and then you kind of AoE everybody. But the difference is nobody died, or they did die, and it was so close to Strange reviving that Strange revived after. I then came in with Old Man Logan, Phoenix Force, and Nightcrawler, and we'll watch that matchup. It was really simple, but where I was scared is I really didn't want to use Old Man Logan in that room, but I felt like I got forced to, which is why 5 fell apart. I wanted Old Man Logan for the room 5, so and it's probably just me not knowing the matchups well enough on this one because I never see this. But I was probably supposed to Phoenix Force without Old Man Logan and do this matchup without him and take Old Man Logan into 5. But again, same thing. Nightcrawler goes on top of Shuri, stops her from doing bad things. They hit Old Man Logan, but it really doesn't matter. and I probably would have been fine. I still had pieces left over. I just needed to trust what I was doing and take Old Man Logan out of here and put him in 5, and I would have easily won the match. So that's my fault. But overall, got it done. This was a pretty simple matchup with when you use Phoenix Force. I also had Echo available because I completely forgot about her. Echo could have gone into this room. I was originally thinking, oh, I can't use Echo in blah 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 room, and I ended up using Echo in neither room, which was just wrong. So I was tilted this entire matchup. I just screwed up left and right. I was destined to go 2-1, I guess. But we just get in here, we get her done. There's an ability block on top of Strange. We're going ahead and just AoEing everything down. Eventually, I think everything just kind of falls over to bleeds. I'm pretty sure is what ends up happening. Yeah, just things start falling over to bleeds. And all I had to do in room 5 was bring in a Mercs for Money comp. Mercs for Money won that matchup 100%, and I knew that, but I just couldn't figure out. My brain wasn't digesting the fact that I needed Old Man Logan there. I was trying to not do it. Let's go look at defense. So I was running that Retaliate comp that I showed in the last series. He took Astral Dorm into it. Should be an easy one. Room 2, I ended up putting Null into this room, and I found this very interesting. So he took Immortal in here and lost, and I was very surprised by that. Because this room is kind of like, I was hoping he'd just take something big in here to be scared, and Immortal's about as big as I was expecting him to take in and make any sense, because I was running double taunt, so Immortal stops that, which means he gets to go after Null right away. Immortal doesn't stop Null's speed. He also puts slow out there, so he kind of slows them back down. Gore's still fast. So, it's about as ideal as it gets as far as what happened here. This is kind of what I was hoping would happen, too. Eventually, he just sets off the Thanos and clears everything. But I'm pretty sure Null ends up winning this matchup for the most part. He's not going after Null for some reason. I think because he wants the permakill with Storm. Storm ults, and I think the only person that died was Null because everybody's just beefy. Yeah, everybody's just beefy. So Storm didn't do hardly anything. She was offense down. And then from there, the beefy guys just kind of win. There was too much left for them to deal with, and they were out of juice. And something like this, I probably plan to run next season too. Something just beefy, because there's some room rules that kind of play into that. And my next video will probably cover some of that. Let's go look at the rest of my defense. He ended up taking this in here, and I was way more impressed with it until I realized he didn't bring Havoc. He brought the 4-piece with Ares, but we'll go ahead and watch it. I thought that was interesting. And I'm guessing he's free to play it. He didn't buy this team, which surprised me because he's a very big account. He was like 200 million or something like that. So I figured he definitely had the Starjammers unlocked. But he comes in, he AoEs me down, I AoE'd him back. Killed off somebody. I killed off his low-level duck. But overall, nothing crazy happened here. It's just Starjammers beating up on guys that already used their cooldowns. So, nothing crazy. It's actually not where I expected him to put Starjammers either, which I thought was interesting too. Because I have Starjammers on defense. And if I would have had Starjammers on offense, I would have auto-won this matchup, by the way. Because Starjammers would have beat his Room 6 very easily. Let's go look at what he did in 3 and 4, because that was where I picked up enough wins that if he would have dropped a room, I would have won. But because his account was so big, he had enough things left over. Liberty, I had Liberty Super Scroll. This room was super cool from the future tournaments, but Super Scroll does not live currently in this room. He just insta-dies. Everybody's done this Kahori team into this, but Kahori's lost to Liberty every time I've done this, which I find very interesting. Every Kahori Shadow King room that this season or this week has lost in this room. Kahori comes in, Merc Super Scroll, sometimes Patriot too. Patriot lived here, Super Scroll lived, but then Super Scroll dies. But then they start taking turns, and bad things start happening for them. So Doom dies. He was hoping to get Doom off, but he had Dorm on defense, so he didn't get to. Or no, he used Dorm in room 1, so he didn't have Doom Dorm, which he probably was a mistake on his part. Comes in, and Liberty just kind of goes to town on him. Liberty lives long enough that it becomes Liberty versus Miss Marvel after a while, and I'm not going to show all that because that's a bunch of nuisance footage. So we'll go ahead and back out once we get to that. But basically, what happens is Miss Marvel lives for about another 2 minutes fighting the three Liberty members, and eventually Liberty gets enough cooldowns that they win. But this goes on for a while. I actually thought that it might even time out is what I thought might happen, but eventually Liberty does end up winning that. I'm surprised he just let it kind of keep going too, because he could have just timed it where abilities were good. He came in with Spider Society to clean it up because he had that many pieces left over, a 5.5 million Spider Society, so he had a big one um, into my leftovers. Not gonna play that. This is where he tried to use Immortal X-Men initially, and I'm running everybody except for Rocket Raccoon. I kept Rocket for offense in case we needed more ways to stop stuff, but I really didn't have that situation. I had more ways to stop Speedbar than there were things on Speedbar on defense for him, which felt really awkward. It made me wish I had Rocket Raccoon in this room. But I put Star-Lord in there. It makes Groot and Rocket go fast. He combat cancels, so I can't show that. He ended up taking Cabal in and getting run over. Um, but I think if I would have had Rocket Raccoon in there instead of my 100k Star-Lord, he would have lost the round 3 also, which was very interesting. But when you put Starjammers on defense, all it says is Starjammers me back, which really kind of sucks. It sucks that that's how the matchup goes. And it might be one of those things where we just do it anyways, just to force it, just so that people can't Starjam or something better. That's kind of my impression right now, because like Rocket actually did some damage there. Even there, Rocket doesn't feel very impressive, because Rocket's a new stat character hitting a bunch of old stat characters. And he still can't kill things. Like, I don't know. The whole Rocket situation in Starjammers, I just don't think they were buffed the right way. I think they still suck. Like, yes, that got a win, but should he have ever taken that matchup in the first place? No, he shouldn't have. And he's not the only one that fell for that this week. Multiple people have taken Immortal into Starjammers, and Immortal just doesn't work in Starjammers. Um, Room 5, this was just X-Men, and he took Hodgepodge Revive One stuff in here, Nightcrawler, and a Null, and I don't think it's even worth watching. It's just things happening. It's a team that shouldn't be on defense. 3.7 million is too small to play on defense these days, but there's nothing else to put on defense, so it is what it is. This was my defense. I was running Immortal Illuminati. His first room lost. He took Nightcrawler, Black Knight, Echo, APOC, and Mephisto and lost. And I found this one very interesting, and I feel like he got very lucky. He ended up replacing the Nightcrawler with Scarlet Witch, which was the reason he won the match, but I also think he barely won the match. It was not decisive. Anything went any different, a crit, he would have lost. So let's watch and see what happened. He comes in, he gets the stun on Shuri. Good for him. Everybody kind of comes in and does their normal jazz. He has to go on the Black Knight. Then Captain Britain has to base it because he's ability blocked from things happening. And then we start zapping things. Shuri's dead. APOC doesn't get to immediately punch because Britain exists. Black Knight comes back and slashes him. Black Knight barely didn't kill people, which sucks. We're still just zapping things. He got the rebalance there, which was the reason he really kind of came out there, because he had multiple characters on the brink of death. And as you'll see, like, I start taking death proofs. He took my health bar there. Death proofs are falling off, and APOC made it to his ultimate again, and he only had one death proof left. One more slash from Odin, and APOC died. So it was super close on how that matchup landed out, and that was a big Scarlet Witch. So overall, all I had to do was make one better decision with Old Man Logan, and the matchup was my win. So am I upset with that Crucible season? Not really. I think overall it turned out pretty good. I ended 19. I'll probably be like 1910. I'll be top 600, something like that, which isn't terrible, I don't think. I'll try to do better next season. This just wasn't really my season as far as how I played out things. So it is what it is. Again, if you like these kind of videos, I know this isn't normally how I do my Crucible content, but this is how I'm doing it today. please come thumbs up the video, come like and subscribe, come comment down below, tell me what you think, and we'll see you guys for the Ultimate 32 next week.